Well, howdy, folks. I'm going to do something a little different today. As you know, I'm always working on something and either posting videos, editing videos. I'm constantly at the computer, so I decided to combine two things together today. I'll watch the old 75 southbound and edit some videos at the same time, and chit chat with you guys. So if you got questions or want to chit chat or whatever, now's the time where I can actually chit chat with you. At the computer, so I decided. Hey there, Cody. So when I hear a cool truck coming, we'll come back out to the feed. But meanwhile, I'm going to be scrubbing through the stuff that I shot the other day at Matt's. So the idea, and you guys could probably get a little editing lesson here real quick. But one of the things that I wanted to be able to do is take out some of the conversations that I had with folks and repost them, by themselves. So, like, for instance, this is one of the guys that was working for Alameen Brothers. So I'll extract that and make a video on its own. No, I was too busy working. I was hired to shoot some specific things at the show, so I did not shoot anything from the show. Hello there. Hello, sir. And if I hear something coming like right now, it sounds good, but it's our average truck. What's the best trucker company? That's a loaded question. Those that have your opinion on that, on the best company, can weigh in. Every company is going to have its pros and cons, its benefits, and literal benefits as far as, health-wise and things like that. Pros and cons. Some guys have been with companies for decades, and then there's other guys that, are still trying to find the right fit. And when they do, they usually stick. No, I do not drive a truck. I'm a full-time video producer, and I try to create good content for you guys to be able to enjoy. But I did drive. I still hold a Class A license, and I used to haul heavy equipment, so I know my way around trucks in the trucking industry. Hello there, Terrence. I appreciate you. Still a little early out there for you guys on the West Coast. So I was mentioning, I'm going to do like a rough edit where I'm going to pull out these interactions and interviews with guys. So this was one of the first ones when I was walking around at the Mid-America Truck Show, and this guy shared some information about Alameen. So let's see. So you guys will get a really good look into the editing process as well. So you may learn something. Yeah, it's one of those things where you get by the bug of anything trucking related. You usually stick with it for a long time. Yes, sir. I'll be looking forward to seeing you. Hope everything's going good down there in your end, down there in South Florida. You're welcome, sir. The great thing now is that there's lots of folks that are covering shows, because technology's gotten a whole lot better. We can do that now. And so you can just turn on YouTube and Google search a show, and before you know it, you can see a couple different not a couple, but dozens of people that have filmed things in the show. You can get a really good flavor for a show if you miss it. I'm in Central Florida, along the old 75 southbound, waiting for some large rides to come cruising by. And in the meantime, doing some video editing. Well, I hope that goes well for you. What was nice at the show, at the Mid-America Truck Show last week, a gentleman came up and he introduced himself, and he said that he shows the video that I did probably 10 years ago at this point, how does a Florida weigh station work? He says that he shows that video to each one of his classes. So that was pretty cool to hear. That particular video still holds some, some scholastic interest, where it's good enough to where he can show it to his classes. So good luck in CDL school. Not very far away. I would say if you take your time to study the books that they provide, or book that they provide, study that well, be really, really familiar with that. If you can find any company that will allow you to, it's coming. If you can find any company that will allow you to shadow a driver, hop in a truck for the day, or, kind of just get your feet wet without physically being on the road, that's one of the ways to go. And then from there, when you do take your road test, you'll be familiar with a physical truck, and then it won't be as bad for you. So that's my advice there. I've been through that area, not specifically Pine Bluff, but usually when I travel to Joplin, I'll go 40 West through Little Rock, and then I'll end up going north from like Fort Smith area, and then head straight up toward Joplin. Yes, I got some ideas for the next couple of weeks as far as shooting some new Rolling CB interviews. What do you got here? Not bad. So I got some ideas. We'll see what happens with that. So this next gentleman, Ivan Yoder, I believe that was his name. We chit-chatted for a little bit, and he shared some really good information as far as staying in the game of trucking. So we'll separate that. Some of these old plastic trucks, they're straight piped, so they'll have you looking, and there's nothing, well, I shouldn't say there's nothing to look at. They just sound better than expected, we'll put it that way. Yes. Footy used to be a DJ over in South Florida, if that's the same Footy that you're talking about. Got a morning show for years, for decades. That's a loaded question. It depends on what you're going to be doing with it. But if I would take an old school Freightliner, we'll put it that way. At some point, I'll double back and maybe do an independent video for some of the trucks that are really spectacular, that are worth having a second, third look at. But right now, I'm looking for some of the interviews that I've done with folks. And if you were there, you may have been one of the folks that I asked for you to introduce yourself as you walked up. So I really enjoyed meeting you guys. Thanks for coming up and introducing yourself. Gosh, there are so many. So there are several that pop out, that stand out. The one with Randall Motley was a really fun one because it was not planned at all, and it ended up being a really great day, and it ended up having a really good impact on a lot of people. Yeah, there are two trucks that were right in that area where I was walking through that ended up winning some awards. And if you missed the award show, you can also go back and look at that live feed that I did. There was just so much to look at this year. It was overwhelming, honestly. There's so much good-looking iron. Everyone that brought stuff there went above and beyond to bring something spectacular. And even if it was an old work truck, it still looked good. I was asking these guys here if they knew where the owner was. The owner wasn't there at the time. I would have loved to get an interview with the owner of that truck. Thought I heard something good coming. Yeah, the interview with Josh Lemke, that was one of the first. I think that may have been number 3, I think. Fisher. Kenneth Fisher was the first one, and then not many people remember this. J.R. Slugger, I believe he was number 2, and then Josh Lemke was a third, and then from there it was like just game on, game on as far as finding who was coming to Florida and trying to pick a good time to meet up. It's a pretty good handle. Yeah, you spelled his name correctly. I believe it was before 2016, though. Because I was using like GoPros before I upgraded to a better system. So that would have been 2014-ish. Because we got the internet, let me just go have a look just for craps and giggles while you watch traffic. because now I'm curious. All right. Oh, gotcha. Okay, now I understand. You know, this isn't the best time of year, not time of year, time of day. It's the end of the day. We might get some rads coming through here over the next 30, 40 minutes as the sun goes down. But I wanted to kind of like just test this concept to see what you guys thought of it, because earlier last week I was saying that I really don't get to chit chat with you guys very much, and I kind of feel bad about it because I'm always working on something, doing something, and I'm not interacting very much because I got to go. Look at this guy coming here. Not bad. So I'm always running. If I'm at a truck show, I'm super busy, can't chit chat much, and if I'm working on the computer, I'm not online as much. So I figure that I can still do a little bit of work and chit chat with you guys this way. So let me know what you think, because I would probably alternate or find some really interesting locations where I can, you know, do this, and there's some interesting truck traffic going on. So let me know what you think. Yeah, that in itself, that book is a bit of history, I would like to think, because of all of the guys that that were on film. They all shared some really good stuff. So glad you have it, and I'm glad you bought it as well. The orange hat. Driving a red or maroonish truck in the beginning of one of the videos. I got to think about that. More than likely, if that truck was in an intro video, there is a video. You just have to give me a little more clues on what it is or who it was, and I can track down that video for you. Right, because my thought on that is, as we look out here on the highway, there's guys that would love to have a really nice looking truck and would love to go to a truck show, but they can't because they got to work, or they would love to fix their truck up, but they can't because of working it all the time. I'm trying to focus in on this slightly nice truck right there. I shouldn't say slightly nice, but working truck. Oops. But the idea is that there's working class guys out here running these trucks that would love to be in something nice, but they don't have the opportunity. So why not point the camera at them as well? So that's the whole point to that. possibly I may make it out there to that show. I always have a good time. A red or maroon Freightliner Century. Now, was it the first intro for the Rolling CB interviews, or was it the second intro? Because there's two different intros, so that would help me. And if so, then I'll just play back one of those intros, and then we can kind of narrow it down from there. In the meantime, these folks here, this was their first time, I believe the first time at MATS, first time showing at MATS. So the great thing about doing this was a live video, live feed that I did. It was just great to hand people the microphone and allow them to just, take their 15 minutes or more and have a conversation and point out things about their truck. And this kind of goes back to what we're just talking about, where there's guys that bring really nice equipment, and they're not like the super over the top show trucks, but they're really great working trucks that have the right amount of accessories on them. And so that was the case with this truck. It all polished up, looking nice, and the truck runs, earns a paycheck and all that, and you can park it at any show and people can appreciate all the work that's gone into it. So this is going to be a video that will get extracted and rendered on its own. Okay. Yeah, I think I would have to say to each his own on that one when it comes to the round headlights. And I really can't say, sure, on a Peterbilt they look the part because that's how they were back in the day. But guys try different things, and they'll run parts for a while and realize that it's not the right fit, and then switch it out. Well, thank you. This is the first stream of its type where I just basically sit, show you guys something interesting, something truck related, and just chit chat while trying to do a little bit of work at the same time. So I'm glad you like it. I would love to plan trips in different locations, like going out to Iowa 80 or some other ports where there's a lot of truck traffic, where there's something interesting to look at, and in between truck shows as well, so because it's low cost, travel-wise, and I'm not running around like a chicken with my head cut off, so I can actually chit-chat with you guys. Yeah, I actually saw that truck last night here in Central Florida, and believe it or not, it's been sold to another owner, John Jakes. John Jakes doesn't own the truck anymore. Excuse me. Thanks, William. I appreciate it. Some of this is inspirational because I'm like, man, William's out there in New Zealand, truck watching and everything else. I need to get out and do a bit of truck watching. But what happens is it's like, okay, I feel a little guilty because I should be working, should be doing some other things instead of just truck watching. So I feel like this is a good, excuse me, a good, how should I say, a good way to kill time. I can get a bit of work done and chit chat with you guys at the same time and show you guys some of the process of what goes into some of the edits. So as I was saying before, this truck here, this silver truck is going to be a video on its own, and I'm just going to mark it. Don't laugh at my excuse me, at my typing. No one's gonna, well, I was gonna say no one's gonna see this. You guys are seeing it right now. But I'm not exactly 100% accurate with my titling. So when I'm marking things out. Well, thanks for tuning in. I wouldn't imagine that someone would sit the whole time and watch. But I think with integrating, what I'm doing on the computer, editing a truck show that was a decent, not decent, but the Mid-America Truck Show that this year was kind of over the top in terms of the stuff that was there. But doing a stream where you guys can see what I'm doing, interact with you guys, and everything else may make the stream a little more palatable and watchable. This truck, like this was the only time that I walked down that. This is on the south side. This is the only time that I walked down that side and looked at all the trucks. And some of these trucks are just, let me make this bigger, we're just over the top. Hello, sir. Long time no speak. I was actually looking at some of your videos the other day, and before long, I may say, do you need a guest operator, or come out there and operate some machines, or just because I had a good time out there for that. That was the Idaho Truck Show. The proper name will come back, but it was a good time. But what I'm actually using, this editing program, this is Sony Vegas. I started out using Premiere 2001, and it always crashed. And I had to find something a little better to edit with that wasn't going to crash all the time when I had to output to tape. This is back in the day when you had to record back out of the editing program to tape, and when you would start that process, it would crash. It would start loop dropping frames, and you have to start all over again. So I switched over to, it was called Sonic Foundry, or I think Sonic Foundry Vegas or something like that. Then I got bought out a couple times, but this is what I use now. I've been using it ever since. It's been updated, of course, but it just works, and it doesn't crash as much. I'll say that now, and it'll crash. I never heard of them having a what do you call it? A museum. The only large public museum that I'm familiar with is Iowa 80s Museum. Well, it's a bummer that that cuts you off on characters. Well, thanks, John. If I get enough good feedback, then I'll do this more often because I spend so much time sitting on the computer editing. We're talking at least 10 hours a day sometimes. As much as truckers drive, that's how much time I'm sitting on the computer editing. But I'd much rather run a live stream and get some editing done at the same time where you guys can see something interesting. I can chit chat with you guys, and something's coming behind that little U-Haul. It's covered up. The next time I do this, I'll have a better microphone out by the highway so you can hear traffic a little better. Look at that. That's covered up by that U-Haul. There he is. Oops. Oh, strict in what way? I know, as far as judging and everything, they're strict on that. What else did you mean? I'm not sure about that. I was talking to John on the phone last night, and he has some other driving opportunities that he's doing. So I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate, but he didn't mention anything to me about that. Yeah, fuel prices are going through the roof over here in America. It's not. No one's digging that right now at the moment. Okay, I'll have to search for that. Hello, sir. Well, congratulations in advance. I hope everything goes well with. Oh, something cool's coming right here. What has he got there? Not bad. Yeah, but congratulations in advance. I hope everything goes well, and vlogging that would be helpful. A lot of the people that have done those vlogs have allowed people to really see what to expect when they hop in a truck, and the good and the bad and the ugly. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the guys that park, they do a really good job at parking. They try to get everything as good as possible. But what you might be talking about is the alignment on bolts, the alignment on tires, the alignment on valve stems on the wheels. So the guys try to get everything aligned as symmetrically as possible and identically as possible. It's a cool parking lot coming right here in that right lane. Thanks for being out on the road for 40 years, man. It's a long time. Yeah, unfortunately, yes, that's what's rolling around down here in Florida some of the time. I would like to, I was speaking earlier, if there's enough interest in streams like this, then I would gladly hop on a plane and go to places where there's lots of truck traffic. Like last year, I was in Lincoln, Nebraska, and all in that area, and I thoroughly enjoyed spending time in that area. It's a cool parking lot right there. I thoroughly enjoy being in that area because the makeup of freight that moves through, obviously through different regions, guys will use different trucks, but there's good looking stuff, along I-80. So imagine one of these streams along I-80, like where I went, I was shooting photos at one point, and every couple minutes there's something good to look at. So that, or going to I-80, I'm kind of repeating myself, but I think you get the picture. All right, well, I'll throw that into the hat again if I see enough interest, and if the numbers, the viewer count, that's what really helps. If the viewer count on the actual video is something that is good, then I can say, okay, this is worth the time. So today I wanted to do something, I'm not very far from home. I wanted to do something that would be very easy to do, and I'm not going to have a whole lot of time invested into getting where I need to be. So if you guys like it, then I'll do it more often. Ooh, there we go. Speaking of the 75 Chrome Shop, I may do this kind of stream in that area as well, because the truck speeds be a little different, and it may be interesting to watch the guys that are coming in off the highway to get fuel or park for the evening. So yeah, I used to drive. That's why I started driving, to earn money to buy equipment to start a video business back in 1998. And I always, did stuff trucking related. Well, no, let me rephrase. I always loved things trucking related. Then I got an opportunity to do a project for the 75 Chrome Shop in 2012. And from there, I realized that there are some opportunities to make some really cool trucking videos. So I've been at it ever since. Yeah, it was. And it seems like the new models that come out, it takes a little bit for everyone to get warmed up to them, and then we start customizing them, and then it's okay again. The Western Star 4900, the Lomax, that we don't see enough of those customized. That is a good looking truck. 4900 Lomax. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, who knows? I don't know anything about that. Thanks, Craig. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. You have a good day as well. All right. So let's see what other interviews we can extract here. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it as well. Thanks for tuning in. This was the first time that I've seen a solar panel on the back of a gooseneck. Made perfect sense though. To be able to charge the battery for the pony motor on the back of the gooseneck, it's completely, I mean, something that I would like to think that I would have thought of sooner or later. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that would be cool to go back in time, and I think that's why I enjoy talking to some of the older fellas that ran the roads, because it's kind of like living vicariously through what they experienced. I'm doing well, sir. Thanks for asking. Doing good. It's sunny and not raining here at the moment, so we're doing good. Excuse me. What state are you guys in? Yeah, so that would be cool. I just have to figure out. Well, I mean, if I'm hanging out with you, you would already know the whole um, data situation, because I have to have decent data. So I'd be like, William, we need at least 6 megs up on the upload side. Yes, you did. Do you guys ever go to the Mayberry Truck Show since you guys are in North Carolina? Oh, something good's coming. Oh, okay. So you're in Michigan. Where in Florida do you guys go? Yeah. One of the things I realized, I don't know, 2 or 3 years into doing this filming stuff, is that it's not about the trucks anymore, but it would be documenting some history. So, some grandkid or great grandkid can go on the internet and see his great grandfather or something like that, I wish I could see that with any of my family, grandfather, great grandfather. It would have been amazing. So I realized that after a while that it's not just filming trucks, it's documenting history, documenting families' histories. And I had that conversation with the grandson, one of Bob Spooner's grandsons, last week or about 2 weeks ago. And he was saying that his kid was on there watching his great-grandfather, Bob Spooner. And that was a really, really strong moment for me to know that I feel like I'm doing the right thing, Sure, filming trucks is fun, but also being able to do something that is a bit of history. So I feel like you can't do that fast enough for everyone. So it's kind of cool that now there's other YouTubers out there, doing trucking YouTube things. And so everyone's getting their fair share, so to speak. Yes. A couple of trucks coming through. Where's the apex? Are you saying that you're in Tampa a lot? Yeah, that's cool. We appreciate him being out there on the road, doing the deal. So this truck here, that caught my eye, and as I kind of circled around and went on to the passenger side, the owner was there, so I gave him the microphone and gave me the rundown on the truck. So this will be another interview that I will extract on its own and post that. If you guys didn't catch this live stream, just go to the live stream tab and I think there's like 6 or 7 live streams that I did. Yeah, the Facebook page is Big Rig Videos. All right, so if you're coming to Tampa, well, yeah, if you're coming from Michigan, you're coming down 75, I would think, down through here. No, I'm not familiar with that. No, never heard of that company. It's tough out here. I mean, I don't envy anyone running a trucking company right now because it is not easy. Between regulations and fuel and things of that nature, and rates. I don't envy you guys. I appreciate all of you out here. Yeah. All of it. If somebody's been in a truck for 30, 40 or more years, their story needs to be captured and studied and shared, just because there's stuff that you just don't learn it. You'll never learn it in a textbook. You'll only learn it from it happening to you. I forgot exactly what what they won, but let's investigate that. I'll show you guys something cool here in just a second. All right, so we have this question. Let's go over to the YouTube channel. And what's cool is you can go to, I'm going to the awards show. And there's this button right here called Ask. So if you guys didn't know this already, it makes things a little easy. So this is like a little AI integration. Sans ink. I'm drawing a blank on drawing a complete blank on the complete name of the company that won. Let's go scrub through. Okay, here they are right here.
I-139, Chad and Brad Sand. Limited mileage combo lights first place, truck 139, Chad and Brad Sand. It was all pretty close, but I think everybody's going to like what they see. People's Choice, we tried something new this year with being able to take a picture of the QR code and you text in your votes and stuff, and that proved to be very, very good. We were pleased with the results of how we got that, and it seems to be a little bit more fair to kind of cast our votes and stuff of everybody's favorite truck. So no couch. Blake Ray. Miles best to show, truck number 283, CJ Nail.
Yeah, so I was surprised too that that truck did have like an amazing amount of people near it at all times. But I guess when it comes down to tabulations, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right about that. Well, I didn't experience that, but I can only imagine how bad the roads were back then. All right. Yeah, tell me about it. Not complaining, 'cause I did enjoy, it wasn't super cold. It wasn't super hot except for Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. Wednesday was warm, whichever day it was. All the days blended together. But then the next day, it was, the next 2 days, it was pretty chilly, so at least we didn't sweat. So this gentleman here, that his interview, that conversation will get extracted and reposted on its own. This truck here, there was nobody around it when I was videoing it. I wish that there would have been somebody around it. I forgot what that truck won, but it did bring some award home, an award home. It was a pretty unique, antenna placement right there, tucked away behind the breather lights. But check out this interior, though. One of the good things about some of the guys that show at Mid-America Truck Show, they'll come down to the 75 Chrome shop for that show. So if I didn't get a chance to do anything with them at the Mid-America Truck Show, I'll try to catch them at the 75 Chrome shop show. It's the first time seeing that light switch placement as well. Well, thanks for commenting that, man, because I try to be very careful about how I showcase, people, and it's nice to see your comment. and the other folks that commented on that video, because I feel that guys that do go out of the way, and not go out of the way, the guys that have been able to overcome things like that, there's a lot of other folks that are wondering the same thing, wondering if they can do the same thing. So and thanks for commenting, and I really wanted to, I'm glad that Jeff Dills wanted to be on camera, because I felt that a lot of people could become inspired by him. And I know there's other folks out there that I've seen in through social media. Hello, sir. Yes, sir. That's where it's at right there, living off grid. I hope everything goes well for you. Yeah, depending on where in Montana you're going, there's some good folks up there. The Selke family, they're up there toward the northwest of Montana. Good folks. Yeah, I felt that truck deserved another look. Yeah, he was a really good guy. I mean, obviously, he was a great guy before a camera got pointed at him, but I'm glad that he came to the show and we were able to highlight him. Yes, that was his first time at Matt's, and he won, so that's cool. I mean, the folks that may feel that they don't have anything worth bringing to the show, you never know. So shine up your stuff and bring it on out. So what I'm doing right here at the moment, well, there's something coming, that left lane. When I was in Missouri last year, I spent some time in Perryville, and I really enjoyed being along I-75 because, you know, I guess the shoulder, the setback, or however you want to call it, it really presented itself for some really good truck watching. And so I went and bought a pair of binoculars, because that's how far you can see down the highway. So I bought a pair of binoculars, and I would sit there and look through the binoculars and be able to pick and choose and know what was coming, and had plenty of time to get the camera ready to hop out of the car and film for a split second. That was a lot of fun. But I was sitting there and I wasn't getting any work done, but I was still having a good time. So now we can do a little bit of video editing, and at least some rough cuts, and know exactly what I need to do later on. So we're gonna mark this one. Oh, something interesting is coming in the left lane. What is that? Well, that was cool. Oh, where's that replay button? Oh, so there's a replay feature on here. I forgot to set it up. Let me go ahead and set that up, because if something cool comes by like that truck did just a second ago, I can hit the replay and we can watch it again. All this technology stuff. Look at that. Input 2 is frozen. Let's go see why this input is frozen. I actually saw Jonathan Terry, I think Wednesday night. Yeah, I don't know who that was in that truck. Okay, so I think I set the replay up the right way. Let's see, let's try this. I don't know. So I'm gonna hit the replay button. Hopefully I don't blow anything up. We'll see. No replay has been generated. Please choose play now. So that's our replay. So I'm gonna hit the replay button. Hopefully I don't blow anything. All right, I'm gonna check on a camera. I'll be right back. I'm not really sure if I care for that replay feature. It really screwed with the stream. It killed the sound at one point, and it froze the camera as well. So we're gonna leave that replay feature alone for the time being. Also, I want to say, Beatles, man, I'm looking at the computer, and I can see here that you're a channel member. I appreciate that. I'm still developing some additional features for channel members only for you guys. I appreciate you guys being a channel member. There's only about 100 of you guys, so I'll be able to take some of those funds and do something pretty cool with that. But thank you, I appreciate it. So I was walking through, and the whole idea was to capture that south side where the combos are, and these guys were doing like a little photo shoot with a photo that was given to them, and it ended up where the photographer back there, right here, he had taken some photos the previous year, and he was coming back and finding the owners for those photos. So his process was pretty cool. So I did a little impromptu interview with him, and I think what's cool is that a lot of interesting things go on at the truck shows, but we don't have enough time to really discover it all. Everyone's doing something something interesting. You know, you think about all the trucks that came, all the owners that brought trucks, you know, they all have something interesting going on outside of just, you know, having a trucking company or a show truck. So that also draws people that have interesting lines of work as well. Just looking at this truck that was coming. In 24? Oh, you mean, yeah, the truck that has the corn cob for a shifter and everything. Let's see. This one. Let's make the volume. Yeah, the volume's off. Yeah, so you're right. This truck is off the charts. Theater mode. doing its little spinny thing right there. Sir, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I have some thoughts on the tipping feature. I see a lot of people streaming, in their house and streaming random things, and their viewers are leaving tips and things like that. So I appreciate you doing that. If others did the same, you would probably see me streaming in a lot of different places because of that direct support. But I'm out here doing it because it's interesting, and I know that there's going to be someone that watches at some point. But when you guys do leave a tip like that, it's even more incentive, and I know that you guys directly appreciate it. So I appreciate that. But so this is let's go to, for those that have not seen this truck by now, I'd imagine that everyone has. So I'm going to skip ahead. So let's go to the interior. Brian Davis was talking about the truck, so let's get to the interior, and I'll turn the sound on for a second. Spent a lot of time outside that truck. Okay, let's go back here.
So this is our idea of an old bar. I just kind of had this idea that I wanted to build one that just kind of looked like an old bar, and as it started coming together, I was like, yeah, it definitely looks like the inside of a 1970s, I don't know, maybe a camper or something. But so I first came around the ideas of the old Fender Tweed guitar amps on the doors as basically a speaker cover, or just to make it look like when you're inside, that the band's got some old Fender amps sitting there. And so we bought all the stuff to basically restore an old Fender Tweed amp, and Kevin made those authentic looking amps the right thickness and the right height and width that we needed to fit the door panel. So we made those just in-house.
That's cool.
Made those to fit, and they light up, and the speakers, it lights the grill up, but the speakers are inside of them, and the switch on there, the volume knob, you turn it on, and it actually turns a lot of your interior lights on inside the truck. So it's actually functioning, and the lights on the amps, for like an old tube amp, always had the jewels on them, and we got those on there, and they light up, and cool. So we started out with that, and then we moved on to the dash, and I wanted to build a dash that kind of represented an old jukebox, and so I came up with that bit of it, that type of design to put on the truck, and Darren airbrushed it up to look like wood, and we put a matte clear coat over that. The dash is totally aluminum, the full dash is totally aluminum, and hand-built aluminum. So we made that to have that look. And with the new trucks with the electronic dash, you have the steering wheel controls in the steering wheel. That, well, they really don't have a good answer for yet. I don't know, maybe we'll see one here at the show that somebody's come out with an aftermarket steering wheel.
And take a look at the sleeper.
All right.
So Brian, this looks amazing. Tell us about what we're looking at right here on the right side of you. Okay,
so we started out with a Peterbilt 70-inch sleeper, and a lot of guys are familiar with what they call the bed and breakfast sleeper. Peterbilt had a 70-inch bunk with a right-hand front door, and I thought several years ago, it'd be kind of cool to take one.
Yeah, so I'd have to say that they really set a bar with that truck. So I'd have to agree with you on their truck being one of the amazing trucks that were brought there to the build off. So if you guys want to look at it or watch it on your own, if you hadn't seen that truck, there's the title in the bottom left-hand corner. You can go ahead and watch that if you want to. JT's interview? I'm not sure. It must be a new one, a new interview that he did. For some reason, this camera is frozen again. Let me go check that out. All right, I had to swap over a cable. When I do when I do other walking around, wandering streams, there's a certain type of cable that I use. I didn't use it this time. I was using another cable system that will allow to pass through power to keep the camera powered. So it didn't like what was going on. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. We got something coming there in the right lane. Freight shaker. Oh, that's a good question. Audience participation time for those that are currently watching live. I would have to say that is one, if I'm allowed to answer, that is Bob. The interview with Bob Spooner was one of the most memorable because I was able to take my time, and that was the goal of going to that show, the ATHS show that was in Des Moines, Iowa. The whole goal was to sit and spend that time and have that conversation. And I'm really happy that it worked out the way that it did. Currently, there's two companies that I've spoken with briefly. If I can find the right amount of sponsors to sponsor that sort of material again, that's what I would like to put back out again, because it becomes history. It is history. Just a matter of, sitting down and doing it, spending time with folks and capturing that. So earlier I was talking about this gentleman here, where I came across him and he had taken some photos. So I think that this would be a good standalone video as well. Because the live stream that I did that day was about almost 3 hours. No, it was over 3 hours. So it'll make it a little easier to find some of this stuff if I go ahead and extract it. So I'm gonna title this clip "The Photo Guy." When I put the video out, it'll have the right information along with it. But after that, the gentleman that owns this truck here, we spoke on camera, so he gave us the lowdown about this. Yes, you're absolutely right. We chit-chatted for a few minutes, and he was like, "Yeah, I like to hide in the bushes. I like to be in places where the drivers can't see me and all that stuff. Shoot in the rain and everything else." And so I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, this is my kind of guy. That would be in the same place that I would be at to find a really interesting shot." In some cases, I'm not in the bushes, but today I am. So this truck here, talk about a timepiece. This is one of those timepieces. So this will be another video that would be an extraction that would be taken out and posted on its own. Rusty Wheel Acres. I think the only difference between myself and the gentleman that we were talking about here that was taking the photos is that he probably doesn't have a full-blown editing studio and streaming studio in the woods like I do. Sometimes I tend to be an overachiever, but I want things to be right. that? Tell you what, it's a good thing the DOT doesn't hang out in the bushes like this, watching for people as they go by. That would suck. These trucks here took all of the, I shouldn't say all of the attention, but these trucks got a lot of attention. These trucks that came out of Arizona, built by the Pickett brothers. I shot these trucks at night the day before, so I'll take that night footage and I'll put together a quick little something of this stuff. I didn't get a chance to interview them, but that's all right. They got plenty of interview time from other folks that were. Look at this. This truck's got plenty of screen time. Have you ever seen a mud flap weight as pretty as that? Yeah. We're coming in the summer and I'm not looking forward to it. So I enjoyed the cold weather last week. Yes. Yes, I was aware. John told me last week, and I saw that truck last night. I'll have a quick little video that I'll post, because at night that truck is amazing, all the lights on it and everything else, and I thought I recognized it. I wasn't sure. Decided to film it anyway, and sure enough, as it rounded the corner, I was looking at the trailer to see if I saw Precision on the side. Sure enough, it was John's truck. So I called John after that, and he's like, yeah, I was just over there doing some maintenance on it, and the new owner is headed north. So as I scrub through this, scrubbing is just a term, for editing. You move the little cursor thingy, and I'm looking at this, and it's like every area on this truck can be a masterpiece on its own in terms of an image. Yeah, I'm not very far away. And if there's enough positive feedback on this kind of stream, because obviously it's not a truck show, but it's trucking related. But if there's enough feedback, I'll find my way up there toward the 75 Chrome shop and do a stream like this so we can see what's coming in and out, off of that exit. I think that could be pretty interesting as well. So this gentleman was a photographer from California. And I know that there's a couple of other interviews that I need to pull out of this live stream that was pretty good. So you guys have seen this already, so I'm scrubbing past this, and I'm going to zoom out here on the timeline. We're at, well, this isn't an accurate number, but this is what's left in that stream to go through. When I do the streams, I have a couple of different options on recording. I can record the stream itself, or I can record what the camera sees. So I'm editing through what the camera shot itself in order to pull out some interesting pieces. And like I said before, there's just these trucks just did not get enough. I know I didn't spend enough time looking at all these trucks, but there's just so much good stuff there. So much. All of the guys everyone that brought something there, I can't say enough how much credit you need to give yourselves for bringing top-notch equipment to this show. And the great thing is everyone's going to spread back out across the U.S. and these trucks will be at other shows. Who knows where these guys from? Oops. I was looking for what was on the plate there in terms of where they're from. These guys are from where is that? Kansas. So there's lots of shows across the country, obviously. So these cool trucks will be at other shows across the country. I'm currently not in the Magnum, but between the Magnum and I have a Ford Excursion, I'll pick one of those two to drive during the day. Trucks are just exceptional. They're more than exceptional. And I think the conversation that I had with this gentleman, that'll come out pretty soon as well. We had a really good conversation. believe his name was Jeff. And for those that will eventually watch this, I do appreciate everyone coming up and saying hello. And I figured I'd do something different this year and talk with the folks that were at the show, as opposed to just trying to be concentrated on filming the trucks. So I enjoyed meeting everyone. So thank you to everyone that came up and said hello. When I saw the preview that the Sands company put out on their Facebook page, and I seen that the batteries were painted, I just knew right then that truck had my attention. I think that's the first time I've seen painted batteries. Sure, you can paint a battery, but when you look at how much paint has gone onto those batteries, that's where it starts to get really serious. That's not no one coat right there. So they touched. I would like to think they touched everything on that truck. We got something good coming here in the middle lane, going to the right lane. So I think the next time I do this, I'll pick an area that has a little more truck traffic. That's a little more, hopefully a little more exciting for you guys to watch. So I think that's one of the reasons where trying to, mix in some other things for you guys to see during the stream helps out. Oops. And you can watch me edit. Well, that guy just snuck up on me. That was a car hauler that went by with a decent exhaust. J&L guys are the never satisfied build guys. They didn't know it yet, but they were going to be the winners of the build off. No, I've never played American Truck Simulator. If I did, I would want them to put in a Dodge Magnum, and I would gladly donate a bunch of sound bites so people can use my voice or anything else, anything random to make playing the game a little more fun. So this truck, Randy and the J&L team, Never Satisfied Build team, they've been interviewed already. That video is already available on the channel. Same thing with, who's this? Oh, this is across the street. This is the Dominguez guys from Miami. Oh, look at that. It's been cool seeing this truck get built, and it looks like they don't have very far to go before it being completely complete. Yeah, give me a heads up. Sometimes I tell guys when I'm caught up on all my work, I'll come out and I'll hang out on the highway or whatever. But if a guy can give me at least a day or two heads up, I'll try to arrange something as far as like a video or something like that. When it's the last minute, I really can't. But if you're coming through often, then that increases your chances of getting on camera. But I appreciate you being out there running the road. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what mile marker that is right there if you look at the picture. But maybe the next place that I pick, I'll be a little more visible, so that way guys can interact. Also, I plan on integrating a CB for the live stream. I'll apologize for those that were watching that parade up there at Matt's. That CB chatter got a little rowdy. It was funny. Don't get me wrong, it's funny, but it got a little rowdy. Too much so that I didn't want any young ears hearing that stuff, so I cut that part out. But typically, just around town, it's all good. Hello, sir. All right, so I'm almost toward the end of this footage that I shot. Let's swing over here by Charlie Trucker's truck, and somebody got in there on the old throttle and was running that thing up. Of this footage that I shot. Over here by Charlie. Got in there on the old throttle and was running that thing up. Of this footage that I shot. So that was cool. Green Goblin. So I think at this point I just wanted to make it back through toward the end of yeah, so I know it was funny. A lot of it was funny, but I also had to balance that with all the parents that have come up to me throughout the last 10 years and say that they can put their little kids down in front of one of my videos and not have to worry about anything. So I had to balance that. As much as I wanted to let the CB run, I'm like, you know what, let me just, err on the side of caution. So there's that. Yes, sir, let me know. Hello there, Bill. Yeah, so I've been using Vegas forever, and I kind of poked my head through the door in terms of CapCut. I got the CapCut Pro, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many like cool features, like obviously up to date features. So I'm gonna start using that a little more. I'm not gonna say it's faster, because I only do cuts only when I make the videos that I post. So I don't need to do a whole lot of fancy stuff if I'm doing something, a corporate piece that it's gonna go to TV or whatever. That's cuts only. But going back to CapCut, I was really impressed by some of the features, especially when it comes to the automatic captions, stuff like that. So I'm gonna start messing around with it a little bit more. Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, the stuff that's coming out now, they're not much to look at anymore. That's why I can say that if you can go to an ATHS show, or even a local chapter of the ATHS, definitely go to one of those. You'll see all of the stuff. I'm doing well, and I'm in old Florida, hanging out here. Yeah, you're right about that. There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna go up there and hang out with old Steve Ford from Large Car Magazine. He's up there in the 717, so I might go up there and ride shotgun with him. 'Cause that's a whole nother world up there. This was another truck that won an award there at the award show. I forgot what they won. Well, thanks for watching from another part of the world there, sir. I appreciate you tuning in and leaving a comment. I appreciate you. Yeah, I really don't think that you would need the Pro version. With the Pro version, you can sync other devices, or log in online and have your projects available online. And there's some some frills about it. I just went ahead and got it because at the time I thought that it would make sense to. Also, too, I think the rendering was one of the limitations. It limited you on how you can render out video. And I wanted to be able to render out 4K. And right now there's nothing coming down the highway, so I'm watching. I have another screen here that allows me to see what's coming down the highway while I edit through this stuff. This gentleman here with this blue truck with the flames coming out of it, he's a local from Florida. So I think I'll extract this video because he gives a rundown on the truck. You got the hiccups. What was cool is that he was explaining how there's so much that he's monitoring with his gauges. I don't think there's anything that he cannot monitor. So that was pretty cool. He explains how he did that. Yeah, I think like anywhere up there off of the main highway would be good, but I don't know because I've not spent a whole lot of time up there. We got something coming in the right lane. middle lane now. Thanks for tuning in from Canada, sir. I appreciate you. For some reason, that sounds like it's way up north in Ontario. Whereabout is that in Ontario? Oh gosh, 8K. I do not have a need for that. That's cool that I can do that, but I mean, some cameras don't shoot in 8K. No, I didn't quit the CB interviews. There's some projects that I needed to get caught up on first before I went out and played on the highway, but they'll be coming back soon. Another thing as well is for whatever reason, and maybe it's just the style of the truck or the who knows, but the view count was pretty low on some of those. So I think some folks are being particular about what they want to watch. There's a lot of truck content now, but I just know I needed to get caught up on some of the paying jobs that I needed to do, and I've done that. There's only, I'm gonna say 1.5 left to get caught up on, and then I'll be completely free to roam on the highway for a bit. Bill Weaver's, the Weaver's truck. Warner. I get it backwards sometimes. Gotta love a cab over. Well, that's got to be interesting. 100% wood. 5 hours north of Toronto would put you right about, gosh, what's the name of that town? It's the town that I went to right, let's see here, maps. Let's be nosy and go and look. I can't think of the name of the town, but it's like I hit a right turn. What's the name of the town? So I went here for Notre Dame du Nord, but I stayed in this town, New Liskeard. How far are you from New Liskeard? Because when I flew into Toronto, I drove north, stayed in New Liskeard, and then went back and forth to Notre Dame du Nord for the show. Well, enjoy that cup of coffee there, sir. I appreciate you. For those that that will be watching this on a replay or anything else like that, I would really like to know what you guys think about this sort of thing, this sort of stream, because it allows me to get some work done, which I call a rough cut on editing, where I can talk and be distracted by other things while I'm getting some things together. But let me know what you think. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And ooh, who's this? Got another good looking truck coming here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to wrap everything up and get everything packed up, and maybe sometime next week I'll do another stream, if not sooner. So I appreciate you. Yeah, and that's when you look at what people are streaming nowadays. Everybody's streaming everything, so I thought to myself, why not stream this? So we'll see how it goes. Four hours north. Okay. Well, appreciate your tuning in, sir, and appreciate everybody else. I guess we'll leave this image on screen as our outro. This will be another video that I'll extract on its own. Yes, you never know. And that's the fun part of it as well. Appreciate you. Yes. You got some good shows coming up there in Bristol and Pigeon Forge, so it'll be a good time. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate you.